Hi guys, I'm going to recap a 2014 Korean romance crime mystery movie called Scarlet Innocence. This movie follows the story of a small-town girl who falls in love with her professor. However, their love ends in a painful manner for the girl and she refuses to let him go. Years later, she returns to take her revenge against her professor. In the end, will her revenge work? Or will it backfire against her? Let's find out. In a small town, a young professor, Hak Kyu, has just moved in to teach literature writing class. Previously, Hak Kyu worked as a professor in the city at a university. He was put into probation from his last job because of a scandal. A student accused him of sexually assaulting her. While he waits for the whole thing to blow over, he moves to this small town. On his first day, he meets a young girl named Deoki in front of a supermarket. She looks at him up and down, noting his neat attire, unlike someone from their small town would wear. Hak Kyu finds her action weird but shrugs it off. He heads to his new workplace, where his students are already waiting. They are all a bunch of unattractive old people, but someone stands out to him. This is the same girl that he met before in front of the supermarket. While he teaches his class, Deoki pays close attention to him. She is attracted to his good looks and his city demeanor. After class is over, Deoki finally introduces herself to him. She works part-time as a ticket cashier in an amusement park. She thinks of herself as an ordinary and boring small-town girl, but she tells Hak Kyu she wants more. She wants to move to the city. In this small town, nobody interests her because they all lead ordinary lives like her. Hearing her story, Hak Kyu is interested. He finds his life as a writer also boring, but is flattered that Deoki thinks so highly of him. They begin to grow closer afterward. A few days later, Deoki approaches Hak Kyu to go out and have drinks together. While talking, Hak Kyu gets a call from his daughter, Junkie, in the city. He is married with one daughter, but his wife is always bedridden because of depression. Junkie is asking if he will come to visit her and her mother that day. Hak Kyu replies that he will end the call. He excuses himself from Deoki to get on the bus to the city. As Deoki is watching him leave in the bus, he changes his mind. He gets off the bus to invite her inside his house. They spend the night together and Hak Kyu forgets all about his family. Following that night, Hak Kyu and Deoki go on a lot of dates. He takes her out to the amusement park for one of them. The place is mostly deserted and they choose to ride the Ferris wheel. As the carriages are going up, they begin to fool around inside. It is Deoki's first time with anyone, but she trusts Hak Kyu enough to do it outside. Since it's late at night, they do not think anybody will notice the fogged screen. However, unknown to them, the park guard is watching them from afar. He spreads the gossip around the neighborhood until Deoki's dead mother finds out. She is severely disappointed with her daughter's actions. As a lady, she is supposed to act decently in public, especially being unmarried. Deoki doesn't care and keeps going on her date with Hak Kyu. He continues to buy stuff for her, from clothing to makeup. He also takes her out to get a drawing of each other. He keeps a drawing of her with him. As days go by, they fall harder for each other. One day, his friend comes to visit him in his small town. He delivers him the good news that he can finally return to the city again. His sanction has been lifted by his university dean. His friend tells him that they recently received a new tape. This video shows his accuser throwing herself at him and proves his innocence. He is immediately reinstated in the city, but does not tell Deoki the news. She finds it out herself after seeing the food she made for him unattended. Deoki confronts him about the news, but he has packed his bags. He has no time for her or to explain. To make him stay, she confesses that she is pregnant with his baby. Hak Kyu is shaken by the news, but takes responsibility. He accompanies her to an abortion clinic so they can get rid of the baby. Deoki is saddened that he does not want to raise the child with her, but there is nothing she can do. Soon after, he hands her an envelope full of cash. He has packed his bags and is ready to leave for his previous job. But nobody can find out about their affair and abortion, so he gives the money to keep her quiet. Deoki is insulted by his actions. She doesn't think he loves her enough to sacrifice his old job and his old life. She throws the money at him and cries. While she is distracted, she doesn't know that her house is on fire with her mother inside. She notices it too late and the fire has grown much bigger. In her desperation, she heads inside the burning building. Hakkyu screams at her not to because it is dangerous, but cannot stop her. Suddenly, Hakkyu receives a call from Junkie. She is crying and tells him to immediately come home. Something has happened to her mother and she needs him to come home right away. After calling the firefighter, Hakkyu goes to his house in the city and leaves Junkie. He does not know if she survived the accident. Upon arriving, he finds his wife dead after killing herself. She has been battling with depression for a while. It does not help that the scandal reveals her husband to be a cheater. Meanwhile, back home, Junkie is also facing the death of her mother. She survives the fire with major scarring on her back, but her mother does not. All this event inspires Hakkyu to write a best-selling book and become famous. However, it also makes him distant from Junkie. She cannot forgive him for not being there for her mother. She thinks he is one of the reasons her mother is dead. 8 years later, Hakkyu has become even richer. It does not change his lifestyle and he still sleeps around with his students. He keeps drinking, smoking, and even gambling in a secret gambling den. But he is still the same person that does not want anyone to find out he is sleeping around. With this lifestyle, it has worsened his eyesight so much that his vision becomes blurry. He makes an appointment with a doctor and finds out that his illness is incurable. It is made worse with his habit of drinking and smoking. The doctor reveals that over time, he will lose his sight until he becomes completely blind. Hakkyu's bad luck does not just stop here. Not long after, he is fired from his job as a professor. The dean has found out about his illegal gambling activity. Moreover, he has lost a recent bet with his friend and lost a lot of money. Now not only is his vision failing, he is also going broke with no job to back him up. Meanwhile, Hakkyu's relationship with Junkie is not getting better. She feels isolated after her mother's death and always avoids talking with him. Recently, she has been spending a lot of time with their new neighbor, Sejong. She has helped Junkie with her schoolwork and kept her company despite her father's carelessness. Unknown to them both, Sejong is actually Junkie. But because of his blurry vision, he cannot recognize her at all. He just thinks of her as a kind neighbor who cares for him and his daughter. Junkie tries to help him out with his vision by taking him to another doctor. This new doctor tells him that there is a technology from England that may help his eyesight. He will have to drink medicine for a month before they can proceed with a surgery. Although Hakkyu does not know the cost, he agrees. He is desperate to get his eyesight back. After a whole month of eating the medicine, he is getting stressed. He knows that the surgery cost must be expensive, but he is not sure he has the money for it. He asks Junkie to take him gambling. After a few rounds of playing, luck seems to be on Hakkyu's side. He keeps winning and earning more money. Growing confident, he asks the dealer to take him upstairs where the big bettors are. On his first game with this high stake, he loses. Junkie tells him to stop gambling before he loses more money, but he refuses to listen. He asks for the banker and they give him a bond of debt. He has to pay $90,000 with a really high interest. Hakkyu is unable to read anything with his blurry vision, but he signs the paper. Unknown to him, Junkie and the banker share a look behind him. She looks like she knows he is getting ripped with the deal but doesn't say anything. She wants him to drown in debt. Back at home, Junkie grows suspicious of Junkie's behavior. She goes through her father's stuff and finds a drawing of Junkie. She thinks it looks a lot like Sejong. Later on, she confronts Junkie about her relationship with Hakkyu. Although she likes her as a person, she doesn't want her to replace her deceased mother. Junkie comforts her by saying she is not going to marry Hakkyu. Junkie believes her and they hug. That night, Junkie walks in on her father and Junkie screwing each other. The next day, the banker comes to collect their debts. Hakkyu still doesn't have the money after losing so many gambles. Furthermore, he can't get a job with his blurred vision. As a result, he gets beaten up and is forced to sign another contract. The contract states that Junkie will be taken by the debtors in exchange for money. Junkie comes home and finds her father bloodied on the floor. She doesn't know what to do and calls for Junkie. She takes back her words and thinks maybe Junkie should marry her father to save them both. However, before they can do anything, Junkie is kidnapped by her father's debtor. She is taken to a ship, far far away from her father. 6 months later, Junkie is now all alone. With Junkie gone, he only has Junkie to take care of him. When Junkie is taking his bath, Junkie finally reveals her plan to him. She confesses that she is not Sejong, but she is Junkie, the same girl that he left 8 years ago in that burning building. She was so hurt by what he did years ago that she plotted revenge ever since. She found a fake doctor to further ruin his eyesight. She killed his daughter and threw her corpse in the sea. She even hired a fake banker to take all of his money. Junkie is surprised by this revelation but is helpless to do anything. All he can do is write everything that happens to him in a book. When Junkie and Junkie are out on a walk, someone approaches them. It is Junkie herself, looking healthy and well. Junkie is surprised to see her as she already hired a guy to take her out. Junkie reveals that the guy she hired lets her leave. She has managed to pay off her own debts to the fake banker. She tells Junkie that she has suffered a lot because of her. She even almost dies because of her revenge plan. Now, this is her time to pay her back with her own revenge plan. Junkie vows to make Junkie suffer for going too far with her revenge with her and her father. Junkie forces Junkie to meet Junkie in the hospital. She has gotten the money and the best doctor for her father's eye transplant. Junkie tells Junkie that he wants them to start over. He understands why she did everything to him and apologizes for hurting her. After the surgery, he wants to be the better person for her and Junkie. They hug each other, but are suddenly interrupted by some men. They sedate both Junkie and Junkie. This is Junkie's revenge plan to switch their eyes. Junkie's good eye will be planted in her father so he may see again. As payback, she will become blind for going too far with her revenge. In the end, Junkie agrees to start over with Junkie. Although she loses her vision, she still gets her dear professor to love her again in the end. Subscribe to watch more videos like this, turn on notifications, and leave a like and comment to help the channel out. Thank you for watching, and see you next time.